There are exactly 5 reasons someone doesn't buy from you. Not 50, not it depends, 5. And you're fixing the wrong one right now. Most businesses lose a sale and they change their offer. They add features, they drop the price, they rewrite the sales pitch. But the thing is, none of it works because the offer was never the problem. By the end of this, you will know all 5 barriers and you will know which one is actually stopping your sales. And more importantly, you will know exactly how to remove it as well. So here's what happens after every lost sale. You don't get a reason. What you usually get is a silence. And you sometimes get the very important part. I'll think about it. Or let me discuss with my partner. And after that, silence again. And you start guessing what went wrong. And guessing is how businesses waste months fixing the wrong things. This framework ends the guessing for you, and let me show you what it can do. See, when you lose a sale, there is a natural reflex that you have. You say, maybe my price is too high, or maybe I need more features, maybe my pitch needs work. So you spend the next 2 weeks reworking the offer. A freelance graphic designer in Jaipur loses 3 clients in a row, and she drops her price from 40,000 rupees to 25,000 rupees per project. But the problem is there's still no takers. Why? The offer was never the problem. Something stopped the buyer before they even got to the offer. Think of it sort of like a wall. Between the buyer and a yes, there is a wall. And the thing is, you can't see the wall and they won't tell you that the wall exists, but it's there. And until you find the wall, nothing, and I mean nothing you do matters. Because the offer is not broken, the path to it is. That brings us to the second problem. Why can't you find the wall? Because buyers never tell you the real reason they said no. They don't say, I don't trust you, or they don't say, your process looks very complicated. They say, I need to think about it, and then they disappear. And then you start guessing. You drop the price when the real problem was proof. You add testimonials when the real problem was fiction. You create urgency when the real problem was relevance. Every wrong guess costs you weeks and sometimes months, and the real barrier is still there. Problem is you're debugging your business blind. Here's the fix, because every lost sale traces back to one of the 5 barriers. Not approximately, exactly 5. And let me walk you through each one. Barrier number 1. It costs too much. See, this is not about the actual number on the invoice. It's actually about fear. Here's why. Humans feel the pain of losing money about twice as strongly as the pleasure of gaining something. Which means you told somebody about gaining 10,000 rupees and losing 10,000 rupees. They would feel losing 10,000 rupees way stronger than gaining 10,000 rupees. That's called loss aversion. When someone looks at your price, the brain is not doing the math of what it can get. It's only asking one question: how much will it hurt me right now? So, a business consultant in Pune charges 75,000 rupees for a 3-month strategy engagement. And his clients make about 6 to 10 lakhs per month. And the price that this consultant is charging is actually a fraction of their revenue. But they still hesitate because 75,000 rupees leaving their account feels twice as real as any potential that they'll gain. But the fix is not lowering the price, because even if you lower the price to 50,000 rupees, they'll still feel the same. The fix is 2 things. First is to frame the price against the outcome. You'll invest 75,000 rupees, and if this helps you land even one extra client, that's about 2 to 3 lakhs back. The second one is where you reverse the risk, where you give them a guarantee or you give them some money back if they don't see results. See, something that moves the risk from their shoulders to your shoulders. And here's what actually happens when you add guarantees. Sales go up a lot, but refunds, that doesn't move so much. The guarantee doesn't make people more likely to ask for their money back. It actually makes them more likely to buy in the first place. But the problem is, most entrepreneurs, their reflex is to lower the price. That's the wrong fix, because price is not the barrier. Fear of losing that money is. That's barrier number 1. Barrier number 2 is it won't work. They don't believe that you can deliver on what you promise. See, the mechanism is very simple. Your buyer has been burned before. They bought courses that taught nothing. They hired agencies, nothing. They downloaded these free guides, but they were just sales funnels. Every broken promise in their past makes your promise harder to believe. Not because of you, but because of their experience. See, a web development studio in Hyderabad pitches 4 lakhs as the website price for a small business. Great portfolio, clean proposals, but the prospect keeps asking, can you really deliver this on time? That's the thought in their head at least. Not because the studio is bad, because 3 other studios, they already disappointed them. The fix is not talking louder about how good you are. The fix is proof. Testimonials with real names and real results. Case studies showing the process, not just the outcome. Or maybe a free small deliverable where they actually get to experience your work before they even pay you any money. But Swastik, I don't have testimonials yet. Then step up, go to a few clients and tell them, hey, I want to work for you for absolutely no money. All I expect from you is a very detailed case study and a testimonial. Are you up for it? You start there. Evidence always beats persuasion. Every single time. The common mistake is trying to convince people with better words. See, you don't need better words, you need better proof. So show, don't tell. That's the only rule. That's barrier number 2, where they believe that it won't work. Barrier number 3 is slightly different. It won't work for me. See, they believe that your offer works. They've seen the proof as well. It's just that they think that it doesn't apply to my situation. It applies to somebody else, and you are good at what you do as well, but it doesn't apply to me. This mechanism is called self-exclusion. Those case studies are all tech companies, but I'm in the manufacturing. This works in Bangalore, but I'm in Indore. That's for a much bigger business, but I'm a small one-person business. They've mentally disqualified themselves before you even had a shot. See, a lead generation agency has great results for D2C brands, but when a local clinic owner sees the portfolio, she's thinking, healthcare is very different. These marketing tactics will never work for my practice. She's not doubting your ability, she's doubting if it will work for her. The fix is specific. Show people exactly like them getting results. Same industry, same city, same business size, because when people see a person who looks like them, sounds like them, and was in their exact situation, the self-exclusion breaks. See, your proof doesn't just need to be strong, it needs to feel relevant as well. That's the difference between barrier 2 and barrier 3. Barrier 2, I don't think it'll work. Barrier 3, I don't think it'll work for me. Now pay attention to barrier number 4, because barrier 4 is I can wait. This is a very invisible barrier. See, they like your offering, they believe it works, and they believe it will work for them as well. But there's no reason to act right now. Think about this. The pain of paying today is very real. The benefit of using your product is in the future. And your brain always overweights the present and it rules out the future. The more important thing here is doing nothing feels safe. Why? Your buyer has already survived for so long without your product. What is another month without your product? A project management SaaS company, they charge 1,200 per month per team member. A business owner signs up for a free trial, opens it once, thinks that I'll set it up this weekend, but the weekend never comes. Not because the tool wasn't useful, but because the cost of waiting felt zero. The fix is not fake urgency. That's what a lot of people do. Only 3 spots left. Nonsense. The fix is making the cost of waiting visible and in specific numbers, not in theory. See, your team spends 6 hours every week on manual tasks. That is 24 hours a month. And at your billing rate, that's 40,000 rupees worth of your time that's getting burnt every single month you wait. Now suddenly, when he compares 40,000 rupees versus 1,200, this feels very easy. Because when the cost of inaction becomes a specific number, waiting stops feeling free. Most people ignore this barrier because they assume a good offer will sell itself. I'm sorry to tell you this, it doesn't. Without a reason to act now, people won't. And urgency is not pressure, it's clarity about what waiting actually costs them. Now coming to barrier number 5, the barrier of it's too hard. This is the one that businesses almost never think of. The buyer wants the result, they believe it'll work for them, and they're ready to pay as well. But the process of buying or the process of switching feels like such a task. Here's the mechanics. Every single step between I want this to I have this kills a percentage of your buyers, which means every form you get them to fill, you lose buyers. Every additional click that you get them to make, you lose buyers. Every decision you force them to make, you lose buyers. Because friction is not linear, it compounds. One extra step loses about 5% of the people. 5 extra steps, you've lost about a third of your crowd. Let me give you an example. An online tutoring platform asks new students to fill out a 15-field form. Then after that, they have to take a placement test. Then they have to pick a slot from a very confusing calendar. Then they have to set up the payment. All of this should happen before the first class. See, each step feels small, but together, this sort of feels like a college application. What is the fix here? The fix is ruthless. Strip it down. 3 fields maximum. 1 click start. Pre-fill whatever you can. So make it easy for people to start. Here's the test. I want you to walk through your own buying process like a first-time customer and start counting every single step. Count every decision that you have to make and then cut half of them. This particular audit, the friction audit, is one of the highest return exercises that any business can do. Because friction kills more sales than bad offers ever will. Make starting effortless. That is the rule. So those are the 5 barriers. Too expensive, won't work for me, no urgency, and too hard. Each one has a different fix, and most businesses are applying the wrong fix to the wrong barrier. Now, here's a strategic move that ties all of this together. Don't wait for objections to show up. Don't try to handle them in the sales call. In fact, answer all these 5 barriers or address all these 5 barriers before the buyer even raises them. Add this cost versus outcome framing into your website itself, your landing page itself. Show proof before people even ask. Include stories of people exactly like your buyer in the sales pitch itself. Make the cost of waiting very visible for them. And make the first step dead simple. And when every barrier is answered before it's even raised, buying becomes a conclusion, not a negotiation. One thing before you start, these 5 barriers assume you're selling to someone who has a problem you solve. If you're talking to the wrong person, all the 5 barriers amplify and it's a whole different game. The price feels too high because they don't need the value. The proof doesn't matter because it's not even their problem. So if you're not talking to the right buyer, I want you to watch this video above. That will show you who's the exact customer for you. Make sure you're talking to the right person first. Then fix these 5. Here's your exercise. Go back to the last 10 lost deals. The people who said, let me think about it and vanished. And for each one, ask which barrier actually stopped them. And this is where you'll see a pattern. Most businesses don't lose to all 5. They lose to 1 or 2. The same wall over and over again. That pattern is your fix. You start addressing those specific barriers in your sales process and then you watch what happens. You don't lose sales because your offer is not good. You lose them because a wall stood between the buyer and a yes. Now you know all 5 and you know how to take each one down. Drop a comment. Which of the 5 barriers do you think is killing your sales right now? And I read every single comment. And if you want more frameworks like this, the kind that actually help you sell, hit the subscribe button because this is what we do here. 5 barriers, find yours, remove it. That is the whole game. Let's go.